Today on All Across Oregon, we're back to the beautiful coastal town of Newport, Oregon. We're going behind the scenes of the Oregon Coast Aquarium to get an up-close look at just what it takes to take care of these beautiful ocean creatures. And oh, are you in for a treat? Literally, you'll meet a woman who has combined both of her passions together to bring you a very unique bakery and boutique experience. Newport, here we come. This episode of All Across Oregon is made possible in part by Diamond Medical Maintenance, a premier custom-built medical facility cleaning company catering exclusively to the medical community in Southern Oregon, the Klamath Basin, and Roseburg for 27 years. John A. Warracoy, CPA, LLC, premier tax professional and business profit builder, helping self-employed business owners achieve success with essential finance activities. And Sherm's Food for Less, locally owned and operated, is one of Southern Oregon's largest grocery stores with an amazing selection of fresh meat, produce, natural foods, and top Oregon wines. From the coastal range to the Klamath Basin, they are proud to serve Southern Oregon, open 24 hours. The Oregon Coast Aquarium, home of all kinds of sea creatures. Even though we can trace the concept of the aquarium back to biblical times, it wasn't until the mid-1800s that the aquariums as we know them today were put in place. The purpose of aquariums? To engage, to inspire, to learn. And as part of their mission statement at the Oregon Coast Aquarium, their mission is to create a unique and engaging experience that will connect you to the Oregon coast and inspire ocean conservation. And that's exactly what they do. Welcome to one of the Pacific Northwest gems, the Oregon Coast Aquarium. It's 7:30 in the morning, and you said you guys are wrapping up. This is an everyday thing?
Yep, every day. We just finished all the prep, so we've kind of prep it here, and then these are our buckets. So these are the otter buckets. You can kind of see all the delicious stuff in there. And then here's our sea lion and seal buckets. Becca is gonna show you how we stuff our vitamins for our animals. So they're getting their daily supplements every day. And all this is restaurant quality seafood, so if we wouldn't eat it, they're not gonna eat it. And we also sort through all the fish and everything to make sure everything is intact.
I'm blown away that this is prepared for them like this. I always pictured you just throw a bunch of this stuff to the otters, and this is actually hand prepped.
Yep, and everyone has that own specialized diet because each animal has its own needs. And
did I tell you guys that when we're eating out today, this is it right here? That's Levi's bucket, and that's Ross's bucket right there. All right, so Dr. D is in the house. I'm ready to stuff some squids.
These are our two of our sea lions. This is IC, this is a supplement that they get. So an easy way to start is you take the fish, you'll find the gill pocket right here, and then you can just stuff the vitamins in.
Don't get fish juice on me there, little fishy, because I got all day in these clothes. 2 of them?
Yep, and then here you can put a vitamin in there as well.
Okay, so I got my 3 vitamins in. I'm gonna take this
rip it off. Yep.
And put it back in this bucket. I can say I fed a sea lion, sort of. All right, so now we're getting the fish out for tomorrow. Which is the proper way to do it? Thaw it out overnight.
Exactly. Welcome to our big freezer.
Oh, look at this. Yes. It's the biggest freezer I've ever seen. Oh, I should have wore a hat.
It definitely can be cold.
This is a lot of work that's going into this right now, just saying.
People probably don't realize how physical this job is. You do a lot of bending, lifting.
So do the otters ever get like a special night where you saute a little garlic and onions and a little plum tomatoes? And
now, their treats and what they love is if we make ice treats and put crab claws in them. So that's like their big.
Move it, clean it, cut it, stuff it with vitamins. Holy mackerel. They're high maintenance little animals, mammals. You want to see where this fish goes?
And what a great thing about having these animals at the Oregon Coast Aquarium is these animals are all rescued animals. So we are really proud to have them. We have 4 otters total. So when we start our sessions with our otters, we first, for all of our animals, we'll do a body check and we'll just make sure everyone's in tip-top shape, look at their body condition. And what's really great about these guys is we are able to work with them free contact, so we're able to really look them over. You're seeing a pause target right now, so their hands go on the buoy, and that allows us to touch them, and it gives them a focal point so they're focusing on something. And that way we are able to look over their flippers, their body, touch them all over.
So this makes all your time that you're prepping the food worth it, because this is right here, this is the payoff.
Yep, exactly.
Getting to work with them like this.
So Nuka right there, he weighs between 62 and 65 pounds most of the time, and he's gonna eat around 17 pounds of food a day.
Whoa, that's my boy.
And what's really interesting is sea otters were hunted in the 18 and 1900s, and with all that hunting, about 99% of their population was wiped out on the West Coast. So their populations were decimated. And here in Oregon, we actually had a local extinction event. So we don't have any natural populations of otters anymore.
Oh, that's awful.
But populations have been recovering in California, Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska. And they have done reintroductions of otters in those places. And for the most part, it's been pretty successful. So we really hope that one day we can do that here in Oregon.
Are they getting a bath?
She had him go up and he's
I'm listening to everything you're saying, so I'm like, why is...
Isn't it cute? So it's great to be able to move them not only in the water, but all over their environment. We do a lot of descents with our animals to get them used to other people, loud noises, different sounds. He's a cute little guy. And that's what we want. So for people to come here, see these animals, get excited about them, learn about them and why they're important and why we need to take care of our planet and think about things like conservation and using reusable bags and straws and just watching our carbon footprint. That's why it's so important to kind of get people engaged. We want people to feel like they can connect with these animals, learn about them, and hopefully take that forward with them into their everyday life. Here we have 5 harbor seals and 2 sea lions out in this area right now. A lot of them came with medical issues that deemed them non-releasable. Skinny, who I'm going to show you guys, she's our only silver seal. She's actually the oldest harbor seal living in North America. She's 47 years old.
Man, way to go, Skinny. 47. What's the average lifespan then?
Well, in human care, obviously they don't have predators. They're getting their diets every day.
Sure.
I would say usually around the 30s is about where they would be, but obviously we have outliers, and Skinny's a wonderful one. And so as you can see, to conserve energy, what they'll do is a lot of times they will be upside down.
Yes.
So harbor seals will use their hind flippers to move through the water, whereas the sea lions actually use their front flippers. And same thing with these guys. We are going to do their body checks. We look in their mouth, look at their eyes, flippers, back. What these do is not only allow us to look at our animals, but it makes them active participants in their own health care. So we can do things like voluntary injections, blood collection, x-ray, ultrasound, all kinds of stuff. It's a positive thing for them, and they're holding to do these things, and they're, allowing us to. And we can do
Which is what she's doing right here. She's rubbing his her stomach and
then we also do fun and high energy behaviors, which helps them exercise and also get mental stimulation as well. And also just providing training obviously challenges them as well and gives them something different every day on top of all the enrichment we also give throughout the day.
I'm trying to get an education from you, and I'm being totally entertained on this side. I mean, this is...
It's a great second chance at life for these animals, but not only that, but part of our mission statement is to connect our community so people really get to see these animals up close, make that personal connection, and hopefully help propel them forward in conservation efforts and taking care of these animals. And hey, we might even get some more animal trainers or husbandry keepers or aquarists out of this as well. So
this is so much work.
It is a lot of work. It's a very hard field to get into. There's a lot of competition, and what's really hard is because there's so much demand for this job, the pay isn't always the highest, and I think people just assume we make a lot of money, but you really don't. And that's why it's so important to have a passion for what you do, because this is, like I said, an all-encompassing job. It's 24/7. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas, like they still need fed, they need some of them need medication, some of them need special care. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
course.
showing us behind the scenes here for sure.
Thank you guys.
This is so much fun. All business now, I'm out of breath, dude. So, before we go inside and see the rest of the aquarium, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna introduce you to a friend of mine, the owner of the Blue Pig Bakery, Montana. This place is as unique as it comes. It's a bakery, it's a boutique, it's an antique shop all in one, and the owner is just as fun and exciting as her store. Cinnamon rolls, cupcakes, homemade chai, cookies, espresso. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I think I could even do that. I'm almost positive.
You may slather.
I may slather. I may slather. Oh yeah. That one says, good job, V-Dog.
You want to try one?
You mean like eat one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry guys, I'm gonna have one bite, you have the rest. That's the way it works. Now this just came out of the oven.
Yes. It's gonna be really hot.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so good. Montana. You gonna have some too?
No.
No?
No. I
hate
can't
eating alone.
have sugar. I'm a baker that can't have sugar. Can't even taste my own baking. Seriously.
For real.
For real.
And so how long have you been baking?
Let's see, 2004, so
2004. And,
18 years.
and how long since you can't have sugar?
15. Yeah.
Because sugar's my weakness.
Yeah, I know. I
So-
like mine too. I love sugar.
Yeah.
I eat sugar all the
Do you
time.
make yourself sugar-free goodies?
No, I don't like the taste of those.
We're gonna try really hard not to get stuck in this kitchen, okay, everybody? We're gonna try really hard. We're gonna move around here in a
I
minute.
want you to try the pumpkin bread because that's another thing we're known for, and the coconut cream cake.
Okay, so pumpkin bread and coconut cream. Let's see if I get it right on my nose. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is so good. I am loving it. Now we have pumpkin.
Pumpkin bread.
Oh yeah. Oh, how'd you get it so fluffy?
You want to know the secret?
Well, I don't want you to give up a secret, but
Equal parts sugar to equal parts flour.
really, that's how you got this fluffiness? Because normally pumpkin bread's very condensed.
Right.
So where did you start this originally?
A lot of my friends wanted to get together and do antiques. And so we opened up a Victorian home and each person took like a room. And then we had a kitchen and we served lunch there. And that's how I first started.
That's how you started this whole...
The whole thing. And it was called Indulge, and it was in Washington, in Chehalis, Washington. And that was 2004. At that point, I had 4 espresso drive-thrus up there and then the restaurant and a few hums. And I just couldn't like leave everything. So I thought, well, I'm going to put up like just things here and there for sale. And one of the items I put up for sale, a lady came from Georgia, walked in my place and said, I want this. And she bought everything that I had, my businesses and everything.
So you're no stranger to like hard work. Oh,
No,
goodness.
no. So we like old homes, old bones, things that tell stories. So one of my favorite things are little nostalgic shops. I've never been to Paris, but I've always wanted like a little nostalgic shop where you just put your wares outside and, you know,
Yes.
have things for sale and people walk by and, you know, so every time that they come in, they're not waiting for this. They're waiting for like a little bakery, and then all of a sudden it's like an experience. They walk in and they're like, wow, you know, and they say, how do you do this? And I say, well, I start out real simple, you know, like very simple, like mid-century modern, and then all of a sudden Mary Poppins comes in and then it's just all done.
And then I just asked you earlier if everything's for sale. You said everything's for sale, the whole thing.
Yes.
Whatever they see.
And I have more. I just bring in every week, you know, things go out and I replenish, and I like things that are unique, and it's a passion for sure.
Obviously.
I love it. The cover that you see over there is actually a Peter Hunt.
There is even a piece in here by Peter Hunt. Peter Hunt was an American folk artist born in 1896. He gained recognition for his art in the 1940s and 1950s when his decorated and refinished furniture was featured in magazines such as Life and Mademoiselle. Here's one of his rare pieces right here in the Blue Pig Bakery.
He would paint furniture for the New York socialites. So he would take 1800s, early 1900s, and he would shabby chic them. And there's a book about it too, and that's in the book. And his pieces are pretty stunning.
And you said you found this where?
I found this at an antique store, actually.
And did they know what it was?
Uh-huh.
They did?
Mm-hmm. But they didn't have the right price on it.
How do you know a lot of this? Did you do the research or did you just learn as you went?
I love history. And that is an old chuck wagon pantry, so that's a kitchen from the 1800s over there on the corner.
That right there?
Yeah, you don't see them. So that's flour and sugar and then all the spices and stuff, and then you have your things here. And then this is what it would have looked like all in a stagecoach.
Oh, here we go.
So it gives people something to look at. You know, there's always a lot of lines, and so people will go out that way, and then, you know, they'll just filter through and look at every little thing. And it's a passion.
You have to. If it's not a passion, you're in trouble. If you're punching the clock, doing all this stuff you're doing, that's a miserable day.
Yeah.
So you can tell.
And then every day when people come through here, I have to redo this well, I don't have to. I get to redo this every day with things, you know, so.
What a special place.
Yeah.
I am so glad we found you.
Good, I'm glad.
I am
Thank you.
stoked to be here. This is this is so unique. So you make this try?
It's our own recipe.
What don't you make? So good. Oh, everything is so fluffy here. Even the chai tea is fluffy. Fluffy. This is what it's all about. This place is so cool, so unique. The pastries and the antiques, the owner. Now, let's get back to the aquarium for some more fun and education. I asked if these jellyfish will sting me, and she said no.
Correct. So the jellies that we have right here, their sting is not strong enough to penetrate human skin. So
But they do sting.
they do technically sting, we just can't feel it. So
okay.
it's very similar to if you go out and visit our touch pool and you interact with our anemones, you'll feel they're kind of sticky.
That's considered a sting then.
That is a sting. So the anemone in that case is trying to kill you. But your skin is so thick that those barbs, those nematocysts, can't actually penetrate and envenomate you.
All right, remember, the nematocysts can't get through your skin. Not these guys.
But if you look closely at these guys, you'll see that their tentacles are really, really fine. And that's because they eat small animals, plankton.
Okay.
And these ones you can actually touch. This is actually our moon touch pool if you wanted to. Yeah, so the way we advise people is 2 fingers just on the top of the bell. So just like this. We want to avoid the underside of the jellies because it's very fragile. So this part right here is basically the entrance of their mouth. And then these 4 paddle-like structures, those are the oral arms. So what happens is once the jelly catches its food, those stinging tentacles kind of retract and reel in. And as the jelly pulses inwards, it transfers the food from the tentacles to the oral arms, and then from the oral arms to the mouth.
I think they're all turning upside down now because I'm here. You see that? They're all like,
Here's one.
this one?
Yeah.
Does anything eat jellyfish? No.
Yes.
Jellyfish is not they just part of the food chain?
Yeah, so other jellyfish, so those sea noodles, they will
Right,
eat
that
other
part,
jellies.
yes.
Also sea turtles and mola molas, the giant ocean sunfish, those will also eat jellyfish.
See, I would have never known that. All right.
Because these are a diet item of certain species of sea turtle, that's why ocean pollution is such a bad thing, especially with those floating
Plastics.
plastic
'Cause
bags.
it looks like it.
Exactly. Yep.
That's why the turtles get those things around their neck a lot of times.
Exactly, yeah, because they think they're going in for something really tasty and then all of a sudden they
awful.
get caught, yeah.
That's terrible. So here it is. This is one of the problems our beautiful little ocean friends have to deal with, and why we have to be so careful with what we do and how we handle our trash in our beautiful ocean. So how big will these get?
So the biggest I've seen these here at the aquarium, probably about a good dinner plate size. Out in the wild, I'm not entirely sure
Like
what their
that one
maximum
right there.
size is.
That's the Mac Daddy of the bunch right here.
So actually, that one's female.
Figures.
So the only reason we can
It's
tell...
just figures. It's a female.
So the only reason we can tell is when they're getting ready to reproduce. The stage we're looking at now is called the Medusa stage, where it's actually a sexual reproductive phase. We have separate males and females.
Well, it's a family show, buddy. Right. I'm just kidding.
We won't get into the details. And so that purple you're seeing is actually fertilized eggs. And so once the eggs hatch, the entire jelly will actually start to turn purple. And the reason for that is those eggs have hatched into little tiny, almost fuzzy Tic Tacs called planula. And they're crawling all over mama jelly. And that's what gives her that purple sheen. And that's the only reason we can tell if she's female or male.
So these are the polyps that came off of the female after she turned purple. So it's these little white dots is what we're looking at, right?
Each one of these are a little baby jellyfish. You see them just kind of...
Yeah, yep. You can totally see them doing their thing.
So yeah, they'll grow up here until they're about the size of an M&M, and then I'll transfer them to these upper chrysals up here so that they can grow to about a junior mint size, and then they can transfer down here. We use candy to
I was
describe
just
our
saying
jellyfish.
candy analogies. I was just going to say that. That's perfect. That's easy for me to think about. Yeah. The Oregon Coast Aquarium sits right on the Yaquina River. This river is actually a stream that's some 59 miles long, and it is breathtaking. And it too plays a role for the aquarium.
This is Banner.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my goodness. Is he really looking? Is he that big?
He's really that big.
Oh my goodness.
So Banner is a green moray eel. He's one of the animals you can see during a behind the scenes tour.
Wow. He can hurt you, huh? Out in the wild.
Yeah, so the fascinating thing about eels is that they have two sets of jaws. So they have that one initial set of jaws, and then within them, there's a secondary set of jaws that actually come out to grab their prey and retract them in.
Oh my goodness, that's like the movie Alien. Did you call him Banner because of Bruce Banner? He's green.
Spot on.
So he's the Hulk. Man, Banner, can I get your autograph, buddy? You are a monster. You are huge. It's like it's like he just wants to play.
Okay, so now we're in the indoor galleries. This is the public side of things.
That is a giant crab.
13 feet from toe tip to toe tip. And so right here, Vinny, you'll see this is a California sea cucumber. And while it looks spiky if you were to touch it, it feels quite gelatinous.
Am I supposed to touch it?
Just like the moon jellies, you're using that 2-finger gentle touch.
Oh yeah, okay. So he's not spiky.
Not spiky,
He's
quite
soft.
soft. He's an echinoderm, and so he moves the same way that sunflowers, sea stars, or other sea stars do. They have tube feet, these little tube on the bottom of their bodies that let them crawl across the ocean floor.
And that's, yeah, the sea urchin.
Yep, this is a purple sea urchin. You can actually see its little tube feet poking out. And so here we say that people can get hugged by a sea urchin. When you put your finger in between the spikes, you'll actually see the spikes move towards my finger.
Ooh, ooh. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna go real slow, little buddy. Really slow because he's not hugging me. You know what? You guys are all star in my book right now. Yes.
In this habitat, we have broad-nosed southern-gill sharks, spiny dogfish sharks, leopard sharks, file-tailed cat sharks, taupe sharks. There's a huge variety. We also have schooling fish, including Ferry and anchovies, and we have California bat rays.
We're going into the open ocean, open sea. There's so much to learn as we watch and listen when we walk through the aquarium. And take a minute and think about how you and I can do our part to keep the oceans clean and see what it is that lives in these beautiful waters below. Oh, what a great place for people of all ages and kids, and even kids at heart. I don't remember the last time I was in a tunnel, but what's so nice is you get a whole different, you can see everything of the fish, a whole different view.
Absolutely.
He's thinking the same thing. Look at this guy.
Look at this guy. That guy got no hair. He's really fixated right there.
I think he likes the camera.
Yeah. This was such a special trip. It was so nice. We just scratched the surface of Newport, and I can't wait to come back here again. I mean, we could have spent days here. The sunset, the people, the food, everything about Newport was incredible. What a great weekend we had here in Newport. We were inspired, we were educated, and we were motivated to do better in taking care of our beautiful natural home. We had cinnamon rolls, homemade chai, cupcakes, espresso, you name it, it was off the chart. We'll see you next time as we go all across Oregon. This episode of All Across Oregon is made possible in part by Diamond Medical Maintenance, a premier custom-built medical facility cleaning company catering exclusively to the medical community in Southern Oregon, the Klamath Basin, and Roseburg for 27 years. John A. Warracoy, CPA, LLC, premier tax professional and business profit builder, helping self-employed business owners achieve success with essential finance activities. And Sherm's Food for Less, locally owned and operated, is one of Southern Oregon's largest grocery stores with an amazing selection of fresh meat, produce, natural foods, and top Oregon wines. From the coastal range to the Klamath Basin, they are proud to serve Southern Oregon, open 24 hours.